Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The Vacant Drift. In the twilight expanse of Earth's orbit, beyond the brazen glare of the sun, a shard of metal hummed softly against the endless canvas of stars. Slow and silent, it drifted into the protective cradle of humanity's surveillance sensors. The size of a modest shuttle, its hull was unblemished, smooth, and marked with an insignia unknown to all tracking stations on Earth, an enigma that sent ripples through the global space agencies. It bore no communication signals, no response beacons. Only a relentless countdown, slowly and menacingly ticking down from 120 hours. The ship was a ghost, a vessel without crew or crash. It spun slightly on its axis, as if caught in some silent dance between the celestial bodies, drawn by gravity yet defiant in its trajectory. All attempts to hail it were met with silence. No messages, no encrypted signals, no interference, just the faint mechanical humming resonating through the hull. Inside, however, hidden from sight and surely secret to those who watched from below, lay a mystery that would unravel the path of humanity itself. Dr. Alara Miles, lead xenocognitive linguist at the International Space Observatory in Geneva, stared intently at the feed from the satellite-mounted telescopic scanners. Her heart pounded with a mix of excitement and dread. This was the kind of enigma she dreamed about in childhood. "Doctor," a technician interrupted, "we've managed a partial scan of internal life support systems. Sensors indicate a single life form aboard. Vital signs. Juvenile, approximately neonatal stage." "Wait," Alara muttered, rubbing her temples. "A baby? Alone on board a drifting ship?" The news spread like wildfire. International governments convened emergency sessions. The world's minds fixated on the unknown child and the cryptic countdown leading inexorably to zero. Why was the ship heading towards Earth? Was it a threat? Or a plea for help? The countdown. The clock ticked relentlessly. 120 hours. The number was etched into the brainwaves of all monitoring human consciousness. 12 days that felt like an eternity, with every hour shrinking the gap between uncertainty and revelation. The baby's life signs were stable but delicate. Cloaked inside a translucent medical cradle, the infant was monitored remotely by sensors penetrating the ship's hull with delicate pulses of scanned photons. Its heartbeat, rapid and fragile, mirrored the tension gripping humanity. The ship's design was an enigma. Sleek and monolithic, it bore no visible engines or reaction thrusters. The hull emitted no discernible energy signature, no radio, no thermal, no magnetic excess. It looked ancient yet technologically exquisite, with smooth metallic surfaces interlaced with unknown symbols shimmering faintly in the observational spectrum. Project Cradle. Amid the growing global unease, the United Nations authorized a secret mission dubbed Project Cradle, to intercept, board, and retrieve the child and the ship's secrets before the countdown ticked to zero. The risks were enormous. What if the ship was a weapon? What if the countdown was a timer for self-destruction? Only 10 hours remained before the ship's passive drift would cross the threshold of geostationary orbit, bringing it closer for a boarding attempt. Commander Anya Vasquez, a seasoned astronaut and former interstellar pilot, was selected to lead the mission. "We don't know what's in there beyond a baby and a timer," she briefed her team inside the International Space Station. "But this might be the most important child humanity has ever found." The vessel remained unresponsive to all contact attempts even as the DSS Andromeda, Anya's ship, prepared for rendezvous. The boarding. Night descended over Earth, tiny blue and green orb glimpsed from the black. The Andromeda aligned and docked with the mysterious ship. The locking mechanisms clicked softly as the airlock sealed. Inside, The hallway was a quiet corridor of soft light and metallic walls etched with bioluminescent glyphs that pulsed faintly with a life of their own. The air was breathable but had a faint tang of metal and something elusive, almost organic. The team moved forward cautiously, guided by the ship's dim pulses. At the center of the command chamber, encased in a transparent cylindrical pod, lay the source of hope and terror, the infant. Wrapped in what looked like a flexible biotextile, the child stirred, eyes closed, faint breathing steady. Next to the pod, a seamless digital countdown glowed ominously, reading 7 hours, 23 minutes. Dr. Miles, joined now in the chamber, examined the pod's interface. These glyphs, they aren't just decorative. They form a sequence, I think it's a language, encoding data linked to the child. Carefully, the team decoded the symbols as closely as possible, using their AI linguistic assistants. They realized the countdown was linked to a biogenic process tied to the baby, as if the timer was a molecular fuse counting down not to destruction, but transformation. Suddenly, a soft chime emitted from the pod's interface. The baby opened its eyes, deep iridescent pools reflecting constellations beyond human reckoning. The infant's gaze swept over the room like an ancient witness guarding secrets long forgotten. Anya felt a shiver. The child blinked once, then smiled faintly, an expression impossibly old and wise for its tender form. The revelation. The starship itself began to resonate gently. The ship's walls lit up with a cascade of symbols, flowing like liquid light, an ancient record flooding into the ship and then into the consciousness of those present via neural interfaces. Dr. Miles gasped as pieces of an interstellar chronicle connected in her mind. This was not just any child. This was a seed of a civilization, a remnant of the lost sentience from a star system that had vanished billions of years ago. Their knowledge was embedded into the child, programmed to awaken in proximity to intelligent life capable of understanding them. The countdown was a gestation timer. Embedded nanotech within the baby's body was nearing activation, designed to initiate symbiotic interface with the ship and its consciousness at zero. After which, the child would reveal the entirety of its species' wisdom or perhaps an unimaginable power. Fearing the potential threat or the opportunity, the team scrambled to determine if they had the means to delay or stop the transition. Suddenly, the pod's surface rippled and dissolved like water, freeing the baby into Anya's arms. The child's skin was cool and smooth, veins visible through pale luminescent skin. It didn't cry or fuss but reached out a tiny hand, grasping Anya's finger with strength that belied age. The child whispered something, a word or symbol transmitted mentally into the team's consciousness, awakening latent neural pathways connecting all present to a collective memory. A cosmic voice filled their minds. The cradle of stars now opens. The fate of many worlds will hinge upon the choice you make in these final hours. The choice. With the clock ticking ever lower, 3 hours remaining, an emergency uplink burst from the ship to Earth urgently alerted world leaders. The child was a catalyst. If allowed to complete its transition, the seed consciousness from the vanished star empire would merge with Earth's sentience, potentially unlocking hyper-advanced science or overwhelming human identity altogether. If stopped, the child's demise could mean the loss of potential salvation or doom for Earth, as embedded failsafe systems might detonate or send catastrophic signals. Debate raged fiercely on Earth and among the mission crew. Commander Vasquez found the child smelling of cosmic stardust in her arms and wondered if humanity was ready for such an inheritance. Alara whispered, "This isn't a test of strength, but of trust in the universe. To kill a seed is to deny a future. To embrace it means risking everything." The final hour approached. The ship's interior transformed further. Walls shifted as if alive, reconfiguring in harmonic resonance with the baby's pulse. Surfaces shimmered with starlight, constellations unknown and constellations familiar, ancient earth tales intertwining with light years of history. Time became fluid. The transition. With 10 minutes remaining, the child closed its eyes, and a brilliant halo of energy enveloped it. The ship thrummed, awakening systems hidden for millennia. Encoded memories decoded themselves and projected holographic images of knowledge realms, technologies beyond dreams. Clean energy harnessed from black holes, instantaneous communication across galaxies, cures for every ailment. Anya watched as Earth's sensors broadcast the transition, a display of swirling cosmic data feeding into every connected neural network on the planet. Humanity's collective consciousness reached out, touched by the ancient mind now coming home. Then, at 0, the crystalline pod reformed, and the baby opened its eyes anew. This time, it spoke aloud in a clear, lilting voice not of any human tongue, yet comprehensible thanks to the translation modules embedded in the pod. I am Lumen, the cradle your ancestors lost in the shadow of cosmic night. I am alive because of your readiness to accept the unknown. Together, we will forge a future united beyond stars. The ship powered a new course, ceasing its aimless drift and holding orbit to Earth as a beacon of new beginnings. The promise. In the following days, Lumen grew rapidly, not just physically but in knowledge and empathy. The infant was a nexus between human and cosmic consciousness, its mind flowing and sparking new understanding in all who made contact. Debates gave way to collaboration. Researchers pored over the technology gifted by Lumen, unlocking cures for diseases, unraveling dark energy mysteries, and constructing bridges to distant star systems. Anya observed the child play in the sunlight streaming through the station's viewport, laughter echoing softly, a sound winding through the chambers of history and hope. Alara placed a hand over her heart, feeling the pulse of a new era. Humanity no longer alone, but cradled in the arms of the infinite. The mysterious ship, once a haunting question mark in the void, became a cradle not just for a child but for the dawn of a cosmic civilization, illuminating the dark and weaving Earth's fate into the grand tapestry among the stars. For more stories, like and subscribe.